Islam. Islam, everyone. All right, so we're going to be on Block Talk. I'm on Block Talk now. Tonight's presentation is titled The Moorish Enslavement and Ransoming of Europeans During the 15, 16, and 1700s, Re-Examining the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Now, what I'm going to do, this is coming from my book, Moors and Macy, which is scheduled to be released in about 4 or 5 months. I've been working on this book for quite some time, and I'm excited. I put a lot of time in. Moors and Macy Part 1, what I did was I separated the book into 2 parts. So Part 1 will be available about 4 or 5 months, and then Part 2 will be available shortly thereafter. All right? Now, most of you already know that I put out a newspaper called the Masonic Gate about 2 years ago, and I have not put out an issue for the past 13 months. This is October of last year, only because what was happening is I was spending time. I had put out 3 issues in a 15-month period, and I was spending the time trying to balance between doing the paper and working on my books. So I decided to put more of my energy into the books to get them done. All right, so we're going to be, next issue will be out in about 3 or 4 months. All right, I have distribution all over the country. It's called Masonic Gate. I have a website. Our website is moorishcivilletter.net. That's MOORishciviletter.net. Once again, MOORishciviletter.net. Yep. All right, you have it right here. There you go. Good. Can you go give me another paper? Another paper. Yes. Yeah, but the information is in the paper. Yeah. So what I want to start off. I want to start off with chapter 2 of my book. I'm going to introduce that because it's important that we're very clear as to who the Americans are. The Europeans have using linguistical deception. What they do is they create connotated meanings, distortions, to bury the history, to bury culture, and they do it through language. And what they've done with the name America is that they have interchanged the name America and the generic term United States as though they have the same exact meaning. Now, there's 3 definitions that are in the one. Let me start. The title of chapter 2 is Deceptive Uses of the Names America, American, and the generic terms United States, United States of America, U.S., and USA. Who are the natives in America? Archaeological distortions create a fictional history. In the book are called Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Rutenhoff, and the book They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima. And I have those pictures and Unexpected Faces on my website. You go to the photo gallery, you see all 150 photos that's in Unexpected Faces. And those photos are stoneheads, figurines, masks, and statuettes with broad noses and thick lips. Now, I'm going to read experience that I had with coworkers a couple years ago. This is in my book. The general public's perception of the natives having narrow noses and thin lips is the result of social engineering by European colonial occupiers of Moorish land. The Moors, who are classified in the United States Census Bureau as black, Negro, colored, and African American, as well as the descendants of European settlers who are English, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, German, French, Dutch, Polish, Russian, or Swedish descent, have been indoctrinated to falsely think that the natives have narrow noses and thin lips. However, the stoneheads, statuettes, figurines, vases, pottery, and masks and mass show that the natives as having broad noses and thick lips. The general public has been indoctrinated to think, due to social engineering, that native people of America have narrow noses and thick lips. Only one day, while I was eating lunch in the teacher's lounge at the school where I was working, I told my co-workers, teachers, substitute teachers, security, maintenance workers, that, quote, I am native to this land, the land known as a result of deceptive linguistical, geographical, and historical practices throughout the world as the United States. They laughed at me. I then took out my cell phone to show them photos on my website of stone heads, figurines, statuettes, vases, pottery, displaying the ancient dwellers of America as having thick lips and broad noses. All my co-workers who were there in the teacher's lounge at that time were shocked. Where did these pictures come from? Why isn't this taught in schools? These pictures look like us. Mr. Bey, you are right. We didn't come on spaceships. We were already here. The exposure of the pictures from the book entitled Unexpected Faces, Ancient America by Alexander von Humboldt invoke these questions and statements. All right? So all I did was simply take out my phone and show them my website. And that ended the conversation. And the room was silent at first, and then they, the question, of course, the pictures invoked those questions that I read. So it's important to produce literature. You always said, in order to change, people must change their literature. So we're gonna take a walk through examining the name America and American and the distortions that are given that apply to the name, and what the name really means, and to whom it applies, and to whom it does not apply. All right? Continuing right along. Turn this down, it's too loud. I might turn it down, it's too loud. Say it's too loud. All right. Now, in the dictionary, the 1936 Webster's Dictionary presents three definitions for the name America. Number one, an aboriginal or one of the various copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans, the original application of the name. Number two, an American-born descendant of European settlers. Number three, a native-born or naturalized citizen of the United States. So, number two and number three are distorted. And so what the Europeans did was they suppressed the original application of the name America. So an American is an aboriginal, native to the land. Europeans, descendants of European settlers, English, Irish, Scottish, Russian, French, German, Polish, etc., would say to you that they're Americans because they were born here. So they're using just solely. So this just solely is birthright theft. Just sanguineness. Just sanguineness, J-U-S, and sanguineness. That's a legal term. Law of blood. So they have suppressed the concept of just sanguineness and pushed the concept of just solely. All right? Say too loud. Still too loud. Just solely. So this misconception, this distorted concept of the Europeans being Americans because they were born here is a distortion. It's a birthright theft. Because it's based in just sanguinous, blood, law of blood. If you were born in China, you would still be an American because it's not determined where one is born. It's determined by blood. And what the Europeans have also done in international law is that they have interchanged nationality and citizen as though they have the same meaning. They have defined nationality as citizenship. That's a distortion. That's birthright theft. So what the European colonists and occupiers of our land have done is removed or suppressed the concept of ancestry, lineage, blood, descent, consanguinity, pedigree, parentage, which ties to nationality, having nothing to do with citizenship, having everything to do and tied to just solely with ancestry, lineage. So that this concept of nationality has been suppressed. Even in the Article 15, United Nations Human Rights Proclamation, 1948, Article 15 has two sections. First section, everyone has a right to a name and nationality. Second section, everyone has a right to change his nationality. What's wrong with that? You can't change the descent nature. You can't change blood, lineage, pedigree. But what they're doing, once again, is using nationality as though it means citizenship. So that Article 2, this is why reading is important, y'all. All right? Article 2, Section 2 of Article 15 of the United Nations Human Rights Proclamation, 1948, is birthright theft. Because one cannot change his or her nationality. It's birthright theft. Of course, people would read that and regurgitate it and go to school and swear they're educated and they just regurgitate it. And they have not knowing that by pushing that, it stills the birthright. But Europeans have cleverly used deception of language to steal our birthright. Charlie Rose said of the Charlie Rose Show, whoever defines the language controls the issue. We must get the Europeans on our home court. Etymology gets the Europeans on our home court. They run from that because etymology is the origin, history, and true meaning of words. They'll run from that. They want us on their home court. Distortion, connotative meaning, all right? That's their home court. You can't beat them on their home court. They created this connotative language and connotative meanings to steal our birthright, to suppress history, culture. And we're going to see that with the word American and how they use it to claim your land, claim your identity. Number two, now let's go to number 3 again, a native-born or naturalized citizen of the United States. All right? Let me move. Let's look at another section in the book. Is the name America displayed alone or by itself on official United States Department seal or letterheads? What I mean, you see seals, Navy seal, Department of the Navy. You have the seal of the President of the United States, seal of the Seal of the United States Senate. So now when you see the seal, does it read at the bottom of the seal, United States Senate or American Senate? Have you ever seen, what does it read? Does it read United States Senate or American Senate? Which, yes, I don't. Which one does it read? U.S. Senate or United States Senate? So you never, so let's move to another one, all right? This is in my book. This is chapter 2, and I'll have to have the seals there. Does it read U.S. House of Representatives or American House of Representatives? All right. Does it read seal of the Supreme Court of the United States or seal of the Supreme Court of America? All right, so read seal of the Supreme Court of the United States. Does it read, all right, does the seal of the United States, does it read Department of State, United States of America, or Department of State of America? That is actually on the seal. So Department of State of America is not on the seal. Does it read United States of America? Does a passport? This is passports. Do passports read United States of America or does it read America on the front of the passport? All right, so no one has ever seen a passport that reads America. All right, you may say United States of America, but does America by itself? All right, that's interesting. Let's look at naturalization papers. Does it read United States of America or America? Seal of the embassy seals. All right. Do the embassy seals read United States of America embassy or American embassy? United States of America. Consulate seal. Do they read United States Consulate General or American Consulate General? Army. Does it read United States of America Department of Army or American Department of Army? United States American Department of Army. Navy. Does it read United States Department of the Navy or American Department of Navy? Of the Navy. All right. The mic is off. 1, 2, 3, it's off. At the bottom? It's off, yes. 1, 2. Mic is off. The Coast Guard. Does it read United States Coast Guard or American Coast Guard? Air Force. Does it read United States of America Department of the Air Force or American Department of the Air Force? United States of America Department of the Air Force. All right. Commerce Department. Does it read United States of America Department of Commerce or American Department of Commerce? United States of America Department of Commerce. I see you quick. U.S. Defense Department. Defense Department. Does it read United States of America Department of Defense or American Department of Defense? Agricultural Department. Does it read United States Department of Agriculture or American Department of Agriculture? Homeland Security. Does it read U.S. Department of Homeland Security or American Department of Homeland Security? All right. So this is one of the sections in my book. And these things that we just overlook. So there is no official letterhead, seal, that has America by itself. Show it to me. Anybody. Hey, if you're from Yale, Harvard, Oxford, I don't care what, produce it into evidence. Show me any letterhead, seal that reads America by itself. Not United States of America, America by itself. Anybody. Produce it. They don't use it officially. They just say it. They just podium, but they don't use it officially. I'm showing you. In evidence, they do not officially. Why? They can't. Why can't they? Not. Right. Right. America includes El Salvador. America includes Costa Rica. America, Colombia. America includes Haiti. America includes El Salvador. Dominica. So the nameplate in United Nations that says American ambassador, they'll just say the nameplate. The nameplate reads United States, not America. Olympians. The Olympians. Do they have, like that sheet of paper they have on their chest? Olympians. Do they have America on it by itself or U.S.? See? See what I'm doing? I'm bringing it to the consciousness. Bringing what's all people to people's consciousness. It's already there. This is things you see every day. Every day. I'm bringing it to the consciousness, challenging it. Challenging what's already there. American president. Which one? The American president. No such thing. B. Say B. You say A. You say P. You say A. You say the American president. Oh, Barack Obama's president of El Salvador? Barack Obama's president of Costa Rica? Barack Obama's president of Brazil? See, Abdullah, man, you're being silly. I am. I'm happy. Silly means happy etymologically in 1500. So I am happy to be here today. Yes, I am silly. I'm happy to be here today. All right? All right. So the key to this lesson is to be very clear on what the name America applies to and to whom it applies. All right? Let me move on. There you go, went over that. All right, the distinction between the term American government and the generic term United States government. Let's first look at, can someone give me can someone name for me an American state? Can someone name for me an American state? One, two. All right, hold on. I'm sorry for that, but I didn't want you to. All right, because you know the deal. You know how to dance. You know how to dance. All right, I want to take this opportunity to teach them how to dance. Thank you. All right, you already know how to dance. All right, let's teach them how to dance. So you say you don't understand my question. All right, the question is, for those who listen, he doesn't understand my question. The question, I'm going to state the question again. I'm going to ask the question again. I ask, can someone name an American state? What's your name? Caesar says that he doesn't understand the question. All right? What don't you understand about the question so I can...
Name it.
Name an American state. All right. Well, what do you think an American state is? All right. All right, let me ask you another question. No problem. No problem. Is Arizona an American state? Is Arizona an American state? South Carolina, American state. New York, an American state. Virginia, American state. North Carolina. Hold on, please.
Part of America, the state is like the state is like HARLEM, I might be wrong. That's like the state.
All right. So he's saying that a state is like a colony. He said that North Carolina, Virginia, Arizona, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey are in America. So because this is what he's saying. I'm repeating for those listening. All right? He's saying because North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Arizona are in America, therefore, using a syllogism, all right, they are American states. All right? So, you know what the issue is that we've been conditioned to associate the colonies to the land. You've been taught, indoctrinated, as we all have, what they call United States map. Yeah, New York over here, and Florida, and New Jersey, and, you would say I was born in. All right. Or someone would say they were born in New York. Say something here. All right. All right. They would be incorrect. So, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, Virginia, and so forth are not American states. They are European colonies, feigning as American states. All right. They are. Right. So what I mean is, they're using deception. They're using deception as they taught you in the schools, to refer to the New Jersey, Arizona, California as American states. They are colonies. They are fictions. They are corporate fictions that are laid over on paper, but not the actual names of the land. Just all because of the deception that they use since childhood. So we would make statements. I was born. All right. Where are you right now?
I'm in Harlem, New York.
And Harlem is a Dutch word, so this is not Dutch. This is not the Netherlands. Harlem, H-A-L-E-M, is a Dutch word, right? This is Morocco. So where you are, this is not New York. New York is not a place. New York is a colony that's on the land, a portion of the land called Morocco. They have conditioned our people to refer to the portion of the land that you see on the map as New York, but it's not New York. A colony is not a state. A state in international law is a sovereign and independent body politic. New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, and so forth are not sovereign and independent body politics. They're colonies and not states. They have conditioned us to call them states. They're colonies. So, continue. Are you more other questions? All right? Are you clear? All right, we have a question over here. All right, statement. Anyone? No, please.
So in reality, so what we're being taught is wrong. It's not a state.
Yes, in reality, what you're being taught is wrong. It's
so
deception.
It's a fictional.
It's a colony.
It's a colony.
It's a colony. They're European colonies, and not the actual names of the land.
What will be the actual name of the?
Well, you have. Well, I know certain areas should be what they call New Jersey. Should be. Yes. And certain parts of the area of the land I'm not aware of, but I am aware of that it's not New York. It's not New York. I'm very clear that New York is a colony. All right. Another question. So let me. Are you aware of the Organization of American States? Members of the member states are Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Jamaica, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Suriname, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Those are member states of the organization called American States. Did you see North Carolina, New York? Now are you clear why the nameplate, the ambassador, United States ambassador to the United Nations, the nameplate does not read America? Now are you clear why? They're not dumb. They only use it publicly, but not officially. Officially would be where the nameplate would read America and United Nations. Officially would be letterheads. Officially would be seals. Nowhere do they use it officially. Unofficially would be my American people, the American president, America. But they do it behind the podium unofficially, but not officially. Something to think about. Something to think about. What I'm doing is giving you something solid to work with. Something that you can point out to somebody. Something you can point out to anyone. Well, I don't care what school they went to. Something that's solid. And they'll pretty much say, well, you know what you're talking about? That means nothing. People do that because they, try to dismiss you. Show me what I'm talking about. Don't say I don't know what I'm talking about. Show me. Anybody can say. But can they show me through documentary evidence I don't know what I'm talking about? I would challenge anybody to show me through documentary evidence I don't know what I'm talking about. No problem. Produce a seal, Navy, Army, Supreme Court. Produce a seal that reads America by itself. That's it. Produce a statute. Give me the statute that an American shall mean United States citizen. Give me the federal statute. Give me the federal statute. That's all I want. Just give me the federal statute. That's it. It's that simple. Are you from Yale? I don't care where you're from. Harvard, Columbia, Oxford, Princeton, I don't care. All you got to do is, well, that's fine. That means you're well educated. Well, give me the federal statute. See what I'm doing? Give me the federal statute that reads, American shall mean United States citizen. It does not exist. They just say it unofficially, and we go for it. I'm showing you that they're saying it unofficially and not officially. Talk to me, my fam.
Technically speaking, in terms of law, we are U.S. citizens. It's one thing to be an American.
Yeah. The question is that being a U.S. citizen is one thing, and being an American is another thing. Absolutely. 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 All right. Now the question asked is that does it mean that if you're not a U.S. citizen that you're not American? I said absolutely not. I mean, is that what you said? Is that what you had?
Yes. But if you're born in any part of American country, you're American.
No. I love you, brother.
No.
I love you. I love you. Thank you. Ask the question again.
If you're an American, if you're born in any part of American continent, you're still an American.
He adds to the class because these questions are great. All right? He asked the question, if you're born, we went over this earlier, which is all right. All right? If you're born in anywhere in the American continent, you are an American. I said, no, that's not so. We went over this and fine, but I understand it takes time. I don't expect, because we've been since childhood, we've been inundated, indoctrinated, social engineered through deception. It takes time, all right? Remember we talked about just sanguineous, law of blood. An American is tied to just sanguineous, just solely law of soil. So what the European occupiers of Moorish land have done was interjected the principle of just solely distill our birthright, and they connected just solely with American. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to, this is fine, because this is, sometimes we gotta make the point solid. And I want to make the point very clear. All right, go back. Remember the three definitions I gave you for American? An Aboriginal or one of the copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans? Here it is, 1936. I'm going to reread this. All right, 1936 Webster's Dictionary presents three definitions for the name America. Number one, lost it. Number one, an African various copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans. The original application of the name. Once again, an Aboriginal. Aboriginal means ancient. Ancient people of the land. Or one of the various copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans. The original application of the name. So any other application is what? Exactly. Any other application, the sister said, is void. Number two, an American-born. Number two, an American-born descendant of European settlers. Are European settlers Americans? Is Hillary Clinton American because she was born here? Is Al Gordon American because he was born here? I'm asking you, is Hillary Clinton American because she was born here? All right. This is good. This is good. Yes, go ahead, brother.
Saying that if I come to your house, my wife has a baby in your house, right? Part of that? She's in the house, right? But she's not of the house.
All right, let me give you another scenario. You have an English couple, born and raised in England, right? Mother's English, husband's English, of this English descent, and father is of English descent. They relocate to China. Hear me out. They relocate to China. They live in China for 20 years. While living in China, they have 3 children in China. What are the children? Don't please. What are the children? Mother's English descent, father is English descent. Children born in China. What are the children?
Well, their descendants, they come from English people, right?
Yes, mother's English.
But they born in China. So, if you think about descendants, they come from English people. But they born in China, so they might can be what they call double nationality. They come from English people, but they born in China, so they're Chinese. But the descendants from English people.
I love you, brother.
Well,
no, but I love you, brother. That is the concept. Hear me out, y'all. That is the concept that's been out there.
Yeah.
That is what they use in international law, y'all. Just solely. They're using just solely. They're suppressing singleness. Right? He's talking just solely. So the children would not be Chinese. The children would be Chinese based on the Chinese naturalization laws. All right? Based on the Chinese naturalization laws, if China has just solely as naturalization laws, meaning just solely the children born in China, based on the principle of just solely embedded in the naturalization laws of China, if they have that, right, the children would be automatically Chinese by that, just solely. All right? But if China doesn't have just solely, that wouldn't happen. So about just solely. The children would not be Chinese because you're talking ancestry, lineage, descent, blood. All right? This dual nationality, brother, the dual nationality is false. They use that in international law. Once again, I love you, brother. Once again, what they do in the international law is that they're interchanging citizenship and nationality as though they have the same exact meaning. That's what's happening. I know you've been taught that. You can show me that in international law. Yes, you can. You can show me that in international law. And I can challenge that international law based on etymology, based on understanding nationality, and it's tied to ancestry, lineage, pedigree, descent. That's what they're suppressing. Once again, 1948, Universal Declaration of Rights of the Child. Let's go to 1948 Human Rights Proclamation, United Nations Human Rights Proclamation. First article, Article 15, first section. I got you. First section. Everyone should have right to name and nationality. Second section. Everyone should have the right to what? Change his or her nationality. Brother, that's birthright theft. Once again, you cannot change your nationality. Go ahead. Question. Statement.
Every animal and insect has their own heritage because they stay what they are wherever they're born. So a pit bull that could be born in China is still
yes, absolutely.
Chinese.
Absolutely. Right. So it's not that concept is based. That concept is birthright theft. What you are presenting to us is based in European occupation and colonialism. They embedded that into international law. The occupiers controlled that. Charlie Rose once again says, whoever defines the language controls the issue. So nationality and citizenship are not interchangeable. They're not interchangeable. They interchange them in international law to steal the land resources in the estate of the Aboriginal, Native, and Indigenous people of the world. That is based in European colonialism. We have to learn how to read. We have to see that. We have to see European colonialism live and international law. So once you're clear, unequivocally clear, on what nationality is, and it's tied to lineage, ancestry, parentage, consanguinity, bloodline, you'll be able to see that and pick that apart. All right? Another question, statement. How am I doing, y'all? I'm ready to kick butt. Yes.
So, like Nigerians, they come here and they have a child here. Now, that child, my argument is that the child is still Nigerian, but everybody tells me that the child is American before he was born.
All right, but what are you learning tonight? You tell me. What I presented.
I'm saying it's still Nigerian.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't want. See, I want you to be sure on it, though. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. You weren't sure, though. Yeah, you weren't sure because somebody said, "Well, no, they're Americans. They was born here." And you like, all right. Let me repeat this. Let me repeat this. All right. Let me repeat this. Those who are listening, because they can't hear you. The sister said that she wanted to be clear that in the Nigerian parents come over here and the child is born, would the child be American or Nigerian? Because the child was born here. All right? All right. So we're very clear that that American has, once again, an American is native to the land. American is aboriginal, not based on where you're born. Based on what? The descent. Having nothing to do with where you're born. But the European occupiers of our land are using the third definition in the 1936 Webster's Universal Dictionary for a name for American, a native or naturalized citizen of the United States. American does not mean that. American does not mean that at all. That's birthright theft. Yeah, yes. Yes, they're Americans. They're Americans. No, it's not. All right. Once again, he's saying that Asians, geographically speaking, all right, would be Americans. Yes, but we want to be clear. We want to tie it to descent. Because the Europeans did the geographical descent. Blood, just sanguineous, blood. If I could just they say blood, you want it blood. Why? Because you can't change that. Can't change that. That's immovable. Space in nature. That's why I keep saying blood. Just sanguineous. Law of blood. All right? Blood. Everyone says blood. Consanguinity. All right. Just sanguineous. Law of blood. Great. All right. We're gonna be a few more, and I'm gonna be moving on to the main part of the presentation. All right. We have Native American and American. What is the difference between a Native American and American? That's the question. What is the difference between Native American and American? We'll get someone else. Native American, American, or is there a difference? Is there a distinction? No. All right. You want to take a crack at it? All right. Why? I would never accept that. You know that. Only. You're correct. Why?
Because American is the proper color between people.
Go ahead.
When the Europeans got here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Native is a person born of the old.
Oh, no, I said Native American and American.
So that would be that Native American. No, that would be the Native.
So think.
No, there's no difference.
All right. Why?
Because they're both from that geographical area.
All right. We just look at the terms, the words. The word America, okay. American, the term Native American. Is there a difference, or what is the difference between the term, the name American, and the term Native American? Present day. How it's used now. She said present day, how it's used now. Present day. They being, you said she knows that they being the European occupiers of Moorish land, the ones who stole your birthright, the they means the one who take connotative meaning to steal your birthright. Those are the they. So you said.
For a certain particular set of people.
I got you. I'm gonna give a chance to vote.
The Native American, are you referring to the ones that they apply to incorrectly present day?
All right, let me. American, an Aboriginal or one of the copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans. The original application of the name. We're talking about the original application of the name. All right. So there's no distinction. Why? You're saying that there's no distinction between the name American and the term Native American. Why?
Native is in the definition.
She said native is in the definition of American. Yes. Go. What do you want to say, Paul?
Native American is like a brand to refer to, like, to refer to Asians that came there and worked, and like their form of reparation, like also like the land called like Native American, called American Indians.
Are you talking about how the European occupiers of Moorish land? How you talking about that those who have stolen our land? You're talking about those who have stolen our birthright. You're talking about those who create connotative meaning. You're talking about how they use it? No. We're not talking about how. We're talking about what it is. We're talking about what it is, what it means, right? The European occupiers of Moorish lands, those who be white, claim to be American, those who claim to be white, those who claim to be imperial potentates, sovereign, all right? Those are descendants of English, Irish, white. They are not Americans, all right? Does the name American? Does the name American and the term the Native American have different meanings? Yes. Thank you, brother. He said, go to the etymology. The name American. The name American. Very fell. Barry Feld, Professor Emeritus of Harvard University. His book, America, B.C. He says that the name America is not derived from the name Americo Vespucci. It has a much ancient origin, coming from Libyan names or Berber terms referring to land. I know what the problem is. It's the false history from childhood. And that takes time. That's why I'm here. That's why I spent so much time expanding this book. Chapter 2 of Moors and Masonry is an expansion of a book that I wrote in 2005 and published in 2006, titled The Deceptive Meaning of the Names American, How the Europeans Falsely Claim the Names of the Moors. I expanded that. So that book, I will no longer use that book. I expanded that book and to put it into chapter 2. That is chapter 2, the expansion of that book. I expanded every section. And it took me 4 months to expand on it. All right? So are we clear? So an American is native to the land. So you don't need this. The Europeans, what the Europeans did, my brother, what the Europeans did was they created the term Native American to make a conscious distinction from American and Native American. When they both happen, they have the You're being redundant by Native American. You're saying Native twice. You're saying Native twice. Because as you said, it's in the definition of American. As she said, Native is in the definition of American. American, or one of the copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans, the original African, 1936 Webster's Universal Dictionary. All right? I made that point. I want to make sure I make solid my points. All right, so is the generic term United States a nationality? Is the generic term United States a nationality? Why not? You know what? Now you know I don't accept this because that's a closed-ended question. But I'll ask you why. But why is it not a nationality? All right. I'm going to give you that. Oh, that's I got a second. I know. That's 10. Okay. All right. Thanks. United States. See, very clear. See, we went. You see where he went? Y'all were saying United States is a corporation. United States is not what? See? You see what they get y'all to? United States is not a block. I know you weren't going with the corporation, but his answer shuts all that down. The United States is not a block. That's what. See how simple it is? Kiss it, y'all. Kiss it. Kiss it, y'all. Once again, bloodline, consanguinity, say it. Descent, lineage, ancestry, parentage. Come on, y'all. Think along that line. That's why it's not a nationality. The question is, why is the United States not a generic term, United States nationality? So once you're clear on what a nationality is, you can answer the question. All right?
Nationality,
yes.
That's a nationality.
All right. When you say all right. When you say where you come from, I I got to be clear on what you're saying. I can't answer the question until I am clear on what you mean. What do you mean by where you come from?
No, I mean, okay.
I can't.
Okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
Because I don't know what you mean by where you come from. I don't. And I'm not being facetious.
No, nationality means correctly. The definition says the meaning is the plot line.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Not where you come from, because that's a different thing.
It could be.
But it's not the right.
Why? Because it could be. Because you say where you come from. You say, well, where you come from? I come from Nigeria. Well, where you come from? I come from France. Where you come from? I mean, what is your descent? Yeah. See, that's why I said where you come from. That's because the meanings could vary. It's not clear enough. That's why I asked. I wanted to know what you meant by that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But it's different than
Think
nationality.
Blood. Once again, blood. Consanguinity. Sanguineous. Think that. Blood. Always blood. Always blood. Always blood. So you saw where you come from, your mother.
I don't want to make it complicated.
No.
I'm sure I understand the concept.
No, that is not making it complicated.
It makes a difference because I was going to say, what about if my father, like my father is like this, or my mother is light skinned. They born in American continent, but I said, when you say,
what's their descent though?
Mother,
what's your father's descent?
Honestly, we come from Venezuela for Catholic.
He's American. He's a Moor.
Yeah, probably.
He's a Moor,
like,
and your mother is a Moor.
My mother, another thing, she's like her. She's light skinned. Very.
All right, your mother's a Moor.
I got my hair straight.
All right.
All in has your hair.
All right.
So.
I can explain. I'm explaining that in the next section. I'm explaining that in the next section. Let me move on. I'm explaining that in the next section. All right. I'm explaining that next section. All right. All right. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the next section. All right. It's 8:45. Yeah, I'm going to move on to the next section. All right. I thought this was pretty good. We clear up some concepts. We expanded on what we already knew. All right. We became solid. All right, on what things that we know. All right. We are now assured. All right, on things that we've been learning over the past how long I've been here. Because I haven't been here in a while. All right. So let's move on. All right. I'm going to read this. Robert Davis, professor of history at the Ohio State University, he has a book titled Christian Slaves, Muslim Masters, White Slavery in the Mediterranean, the Barbary Coast, and Italy, from 1500 to 1800. Quote, enslavement was a very real possibility for everyone. Enslavement was a real possibility for anyone who traveled in the Mediterranean or who lived along the shores in places like Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal, and even as far north as England and Iceland. Much of what has been written gives the impression that there were not many slaves, and minimizes the impact that slavery had on Europe. Most accounts only look at slavery in one place, or only for a short period of time. But you take a longer view of the method of slavery, and its purpose become clear. One of the things that both the public and many scholars have tended to take as given is that slavery was always racial in nature, that only blacks have been slaves. But that is not true. We cannot think of slavery as something that only white people, and using the colonnades. We've been, because of the massive historical cover-up, most of our people think that Europeans enslaved us only. That when discussion of slavery comes, they'll say, well, whites enslaved blacks. But there's never where they say black whites. Never. You don't even hear that. That's not even discussed in school. Why not? Why the historical cover-up? Why the massive historical cover-up? All right, to perpetuate the brainwash. Why do they want to perpetuate the brainwash? To keep us blind from knowing our heritage and our birthright. Good. Yes, to perpetuate things, to keep the cycle going. All right. And also to plant in our minds that inferior mentality, that you have no power to control your reasoning mind. Once again, to plant psychological inferiority. Trump nature. We talking about heart. We could talk about our minds, because heart comes from that knowledge, science. That's another piece. All right, so in actuality, our ancestors enslaved Europeans by the hundreds of thousands. And what I do in my book, Moors and Masonry, Chapter 3, titled The Diplomatic Relations Between the Moroccan Empire and the European Powers during the 15, 16, 1700s, raising the question of the transatlantic slave trade. So we've been indoctrinated to believe that the Europeans transported 10 million from what is now known as the continent of Africa to the Americas. All right? Let me flow, Bell. Let me flow. There's like 2 questions down. Let me flow. All right? So I got to present information. All right? For the continent of Africa. So, question is, why the massive historical cover-up? Why the massive archaeological cover-up? Why do our people think that the native people have narrow noses and thin lips, and they live on reservations? Why is that? It has been that. So we've been indoctrinated with that. So let me continue. What we do learn in the textbooks, these are topics that are presented in what they call United States history, and those sometimes they'll have misnomer American history. Reshaping history, and it's neither. It's because it's neither United States history nor American history. All right? American history, neither American history nor United States history is taught in schools. So United States history is not taught in schools. So they got a textbook, American history, throw that in the trash. That's trash. Or United States history, that's trash. I'm going to prove to you that's trash. I'm going to prove to you that those textbooks that read United States history is trash. I'm going to prove to you. Topics in history textbooks. Reshaping history to fit the European birthright death agenda. These are topics that you learn in school as a child. All right? Discovery, Christopher Columbus discovered America. European explorations of the Americas. European explorers. European land grants to European companies. European settlement to the Americas. Europeans transported from Europe as indentured servants. Europeans indentured servitude. English, establishment of European guilds in the Americas. Establishment of European colonies in the Americas. Spanish colonies, Portuguese colonies, Dutch colonies, French colonies, English colonies, Dutch colonies, Swedish colonies. Wars with the Indians, quote-unquote Indians. Treaties with the quote-unquote Indians. Transatlantic slave trade. Slavery in the United States. The difference between indentured servitude and slavery. Wars among the European nations for control of the Americas. The 13 original colonies in the Americas. Revolutionary War. General George Washington, the Revolutionary War battles, and the British Declaration of Independence. Founding Fathers of the United States. Articles of Confederation, 1781, 1787. First Continental Congress, Second Continental Congress. Diplomatic relations between the United States and France. Northwestern Ordinance of 1787. Constitutional Convention, March 1789 to September 1789. Actually 1787. George Washington elected as the first president of the United States. Louisiana Purchase, Civil War, Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation and the freeing of black people, quote-unquote black people. The 13th Amendment and the ending of slavery in the United States. The 14th Amendment and granting United States citizenship to quote-unquote black people. The 15th Amendment, Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act. You had Korean conflict, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and so forth, all right? These are topics that you learn, introduced to in school. Am I correct? There's others, but all right. What you haven't been taught in schools is the extensive diplomatic relations between Morocco and France, Morocco and England, Morocco and Portugal, Morocco and Spain, Morocco and the Netherlands. And these are the European powers who the claim has been that they transported 10 million Africans from the continent of Africa to the Americas, North America, Central America, South America, and islands during the 15, 16, 1700s. Are you aware during that time period, we were seizing European ships by the thousands? Are you aware during that time period that we were capturing Europeans by the hundreds of thousands and held Europeans in Moorish captivity? They were going back. You had the Trinitarian and the Mercedarian. These are ransoming or redeeming orders that raise money to get Europeans out of Moorish captivity. The Trinitarian was established by quote-unquote Pope Innocent III, as well as the Mercedarian. The Trinitarian was established in France, and the Mercedarian was established in Spain in 1082. The Trinitarian was established in 1102, and continued to be active up throughout the 1700s, raising finance, going to redeeming Richards, to redeem English, Irish, wealth out of Moorish captivity. Did you learn that in school, sister? Oh, and that's something. I thought you learned United States history. I thought you learned American history in school. Oh, you didn't learn that? Are you aware that, during the Shrines Parade, the European Shrines Parade, they drive what they call miniature Corvettes. Are you aware that Corvette means a Corvette is a speedboat? A Corvette is a small speedboat. We would drive the Corvette European ship, climb on board the European ship, and seize the entire crew. The European Shrines Parade, they're reenacting true history. You want to see United States history? Go to look at the Shrines Parade. They're reenacting. The reason why in the Shriners Parade. There's a book called The Clowns Are Everywhere by Patrice Otto. When I went to the Shriners Parade, the Moorish territory where the European colony, all right, called Indiana, operates. When I went there, we saw hundreds of clowns. And I didn't know why the clowns were put in the parade until we were leaving the parade and William, Governor, Moorish Science Temple in Indiana area, he said to me as we were walking back to the car that the clowns were not only there to make light of things, but they were there, they did those things to calm things down before both parties went to war. Also, when I got back, I did research on clowns and their function in diplomacy. Are you aware that clowns were also used in diplomatic areas? They actually accompanied various kings and queens on their mission. They actually gave advice. So the clowns, and I said, I'm reading this, and said, oh, now I know why the clowns are used in the parade. It's symbolic of the relations between the Moroccan Empire and the European powers. The Europeans did not they don't arbitrarily do things. They have knowledge of the history. So they're displaying, they're acting through the parade true history. And this is what I explained in my book, particularly in chapter 3 of Moors and Masonry. All right? Continue right along. I'm going to read the history correlating the timeline of the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and England with the establishment of English colonies along the Atlantic sea coast. The history and social studies, the history and social studies curricula taught in schools throughout, this is me speaking. All right, I'm reading, all right? So I got to let you know that that's not quoting somebody. This is actually my writing. The history and social studies curricula taught in schools throughout Moorish land under the jurisdictional control of the European occupational colonial government known as the United States of America, U.S., USA, and falsely referred to as America, do not include the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and England during the time period of the establishment of the English colonies in Morocco. Are you aware that the tribute treaties, were negotiated? See, what happened was we controlled the seas, and you learned in school that Spain and Portugal were the seafaring, commercial, trading powers during the 14 and 1500s. That's what you learned in school, not correct? You can show me that in textbooks. You can show that in the textbooks, right? You can show that in textbooks, right? I can dispute that. I can dispute that claim, all right? Morocco was the seafaring, commercial trading powers during that time period. I'm going to cover that up. Now, tribute treaties were when we negotiated with European powers so that, that they can travel the seas unmolested. That we would agree that we would not molest their ships, we would not seize their ships. That was the agreement, all right? Also part of the tribute treaties were the exchange of Moorish prisoners for European prisoners, all right? Also, part of the tribute treaties agreements was that the Europeans would pay us annual tribute. Don't pay us tribute, we're going to seize the ship. We end up seizing the ship anyway, all right? Is this part of schools? No. Oh, I thought y'all learned United States history. The treaties between England and Morocco protected the English colonies. Key. So we play a huge role in history that they buried. The European colonists do not want us to see that we were a position of power during the 15, 1700. Why am I emphasizing that? I didn't say position of power. I gave the periods, because that's the time period of the so-called transatlantic slave trade. That's what I'm raising questions about, giving you something solid to work on, the challenge of transatlantic slave trade. The key to challenge that is to show that we were a position of power, that we were the seafaring commercial trade on the seas. We controlled the seas. We were seizing European ships by the hundreds of thousands. All right, continue. When I had discussed this with several history and social studies teachers at a few public schools at Camden, New Jersey, at Camden, not in Camden, at Camden, New Jersey, Republic Territory, they told me that the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and England is not part of United States history. What I say? I challenge that. Once again, the tribute treaties between Morocco and England protected what? The English colonies from Moorish seizing the ships. The tribute treaties, going for the first one with Queen Elizabeth. Under Queen Elizabeth in 1585, Emperor Mansour Ahmed had a extensive diplomatic relationship with Queen Elizabeth in the 1580s to 1590s. There were several letters written back and forth between the two. All right. I'll continue. What is the political motive of this great historical cover-up? Chapter 3 explores possible answers to the question. All right. Continuing. So what? Thank you, sister. All right, let me continue. Now, these are points, these are commonalities of the European powers between 1500s and 1800s, Portugal, Spain, France, Netherlands, Great Britain, and Germany. These are the commonalities. These are things that I pointed out in my research to bring this research together. All right? What are the commonalities? European powers negotiated treaties with the Moroccan Empire. European powers were at war with the Moroccan Empire. European powers colonized and set up trading posts and colonies in the portion of the Americas. European citizens, merchants, and sailors were captured and held in captivity by the Moorish Empire. European powers paid annual tribute to the Moroccan Empire to pass unmolested the high seas. European powers paid ransom to the Moroccan Empire for the release of European prisoners captured by the Moors. European powers captured Moors and held them in captivity until they had been ransomed. Also, what we do is that Europeans would also capture us, and they would exchange us, for them. All right, that was also part two. All right, so this is huge. So the Trinity House. The Trinity House was established by King Edward VIII, and the Trinity House was another a redeeming institution where Europeans would raise money. You also at churches, at the entrance of churches, you had drop box, and the monies went to Europeans to us, so that we can release Europeans out of our captivity. This was a huge issue. We captured a lot of men, and also the women. We used women as quote unquote sex slaves. They were concubines. I'm coming in. I'm come back to you. Come back to you. I'm come back to you. All right. All right. We had Europeans as concubines. We had European women on auction blocks. All right. There is a Asiatic organization, Moor is classified as Negro, colored, black, and African American in the United States Census Bureau. 2 years ago, what they did was I can't remember the area. I have it on the, because of time, it's going to take me time to look it up on my phone. So, then I'm going to mention this. I'm going to write them. I'm also sending them my book. Well, anyway, they had Europeans in 2013 as part of the apology, quote-unquote apology, of Europeans holding us in slavery, that they had Europeans being paraded with yokes and chains. Well, I'm going to write that organization and let them know that is the. They did that so that as means of the Europeans apologize to us, not knowing that that's what we actually did to them. We had bondage and chains and yoke. Ishmael was the Emperor of Morocco from 1672 to 17. He cut Europeans all them bloodthirsty. Our emperor was ruthless. Don't you think, family, the Europeans are playing? They're playing. If you want to shoot me, so be it. We're not far. They come. So that they have me plan your mind, this inferior mindset. They don't want you to know that you were in power in 16 or 1700s. So it's easy for them to concoct a slave trade story. It's easy for you to accept this. Oh, this is a massive historical Masonic cult. This is United States history. I'm talking. I'm coming strong, y'all. There's a book called Immigrants in Chains by Peter Wilson Podum. Peter Wilson Podum, Immigrants in Chains. This book called, another book written by him, The Complete Book of Immigrants in Bondage from 1614 to 1775. Here's a list of 50,000 Europeans in bondage. Europeans who were protesters in England. Tens of thousands of Irish were transported and chained. They were transported in chains. These Europeans didn't come over here just on ships on their free will. They emptied the prisons. They were lied to. They had, but when the contract ran out, they lied. They continued. Europeans in line, in some cases, were treated harshly. I value the Europeans. They come. I ain't done. You have bound with an iron chain the untold story of how the British transported 50,000 converts into colonial America. They look like indentured servitude. They were whipped. Sound like that happened to us. It did. Also to them, too. I'm not saying, brother, I hope nobody is saying that I didn't say that happened to us. I hope nobody's saying that. I'm talking about our enslaving them. Why? So we can challenge the transatlantic slave trade. That's the point of my book. It's to provide you with some solid information to challenge the because that's the key to the Europeans' rulership. The transatlantic slave trade story is the key to their rulership. We must attack that. Attack it intellectually. That's attack it. So I want to attack it intellectually. All right? Show you through our time period that we Europeans by thousands, that we seized tens of thousands, that European women were crying, the very kings and queens of Europe, to act to get their husbands out of Moorish captivity. We took the husbands, like what they did to us, right? Yeah, they did that to us too. We also did that to them. What I'm saying is, well, it's been one-sided. Blame the Europeans, but they benefit from it. They benefit from the one-sided. Why? They got control of our land. They got control of our land. So they give a rat's butt. So the history of their suffering is not known. The history of their suffering by our hands are not known. They don't want it to be known. Why? Because they don't want you to know that you were in power. They want you to continue to play in the victim role. So they want you to know that they're in power so that you would not challenge that transatlantic slave trade story. During that time period, we controlled the seas. We were seizing the European ships, seizing them. We had hundreds of thousands of Europeans in slavery. We can go back to the 1200s, 1300s, 4. I'm focusing on the 15 to the 1800s. Why? Because that's the time period of the so-called transatlantic slave trade. We can talk 1400. We go 12, 1300. All right? The Moroccan Empire and the Ottoman Empire. All right? We could talk Irish slavery in our own people. All right? From the 800s to the 1700s. All right? We could talk about our slavery in our own people by the millions. So we stepped trade, our slaving both us and our own and Europeans. So when the conversation of slavery is brought up, it's whites enslaving blacks. Yeah. I didn't know whites were slaves. I didn't know blacks enslaved whites. You know, now you would hear that question. You would hear that question. When my book comes out, you guess questions are going to be raised all over the country. You want to hear that question? Oh. Consolidated treaty. His question is, when you say that, where you hear that from? Consolidated Treaty Series by Clive Perry. Come on. Let me. The consolidated. That's how you do it, brother. I'm telling you how to do it. That's how, brother. I got mad respect from European co-workers. I'm giving you. I got you. I got mad respect. European co-workers of mine respect me, bro. You know why? Ask me the question. Where I hear that from? Ask me.
No.
Ask me. Where I hear that from? Ask me.
They, usually, if you, like, I find out now, I didn't know that, like, Moors used to slave light-skinned people. So, if you say, now I find out that if I say that now, when I talk to my friends, so sometimes they talk about, I deal with a lot of Europeans, because I speak Italian, so we talk, so the other day I told him, if I tell him, let's say, next week I tell him, you know what, I found out that I don't know, the Moors back in the 40s and 50s, they used to slave
Europeans. Yes.
They're like, why do you hear that?
All right, good. All right, all right. This is how I respond to co-workers. This is how I respond to co-workers. This is why I get the respect. Oh, have you ever heard of the Consolidated Treaty Series by Clive Perry? The question is, to those who are listening, is Europeans would ask the question, if you would present to Europeans that Moors enslaved Europeans, Europeans would ask, where did you get that from? My co-workers have asked me that. This is how you respond. Have you heard of the Consolidated Treaty Series by Clive Perry? Consolidated Treaty Series by Clive Perry. You heard that? Have you ever heard of have you ever done research in England on foreign affairs the England State Papers, Foreign Affairs, all right? Have you ever done the research in that, all right? Oh, have you heard, see how it's come? Give information. That's how you shut them up. You got to shut them up. You got to shut them down. You got to give them information. That's why I'm doing this book. With information. You've seen a book called Immigrants in Chains by William Wilson Codum, all right? Immigrants in Bondage, all right? You got to give them information. They respect that, bro. Bro, they have nothing to come back with me at. Because I'm not just running off the bubble. I know how to do research, I know how to write. I'm not just running off the mouth. They want references. That's why I got references to you. I'm not done. All right, continue. What's his name? Peter Wilson Codum. Coldham. Codum. With Peter Wilson Codum, the complete book of Immigrants in Bondage. Then he has a book called The Immigrants in Chains. Yes. Consolidated treaties. He has a list of treaties between the Moroccan Empire and European powers, and all the treaties are dating from 1647 to 1950 something. All right. What I did was I copied every treaty between Morocco, Spain, Morocco and Netherlands, Morocco and France, Morocco and England. Now the treaties between Morocco and Netherlands are in Dutch, the Dutch language. The treaties between Morocco and France are in French. So I don't have those excerpts in my book. I was trying to get somebody to translate them, but I have excerpts of treaties between Morocco and England. All right, I'm going to read some of them. All right, you have Bound with an Iron Chain, the untold story of how the British transported 50,000 convicts to colonial America by Anthony Baver, B-A-V-E-R. Colonists in Bondage, White Servitude and Convict Labor in America, 1607-1776. Albert Emerson Smith. The Prisoners and the Galleys, the Politics of Mass Incarceration in America. All right? So, let me continue. Look at my time. So I got the stuff I'm going to get in. All right, 9:20. All right, so I'm going to just be flowing now. All right. This is from Women and English Piracy, 1540 to 1720, Partners and the Victims of Crime, by John C. Appleby. Page 228. Quote, piracy could have catastrophic consequences for the lives of many women. During 1588, for example, Margaret Johnson petitioned the Privy Council for assistance in facilitating a suit in the High Court of Admiralty for the recovery of a vessel taken by pirates who had murdered her husband. Arbitrary and unpredictable impact, the hardship piracy inflicted on women suggests a gender dimension to poverty that was most acutely felt in seafaring communities. It was recognized in legislation of the reign of Charles II, providing for a levy on ship owning, which was to be distributed among the defenders of vessels attacked by the pirates, having special regard unto the widows and children of such as had been slain in the service. A large number of women, especially in London and the Southwest, were also affected by the capture and captivity of men and boys by the Barbary Corsairs. That's us. Their varied diplomatic experiences effectually used petitioning and propaganda to keep the issue in the public sphere. So that's what we're doing. That's what Juali did. Juali began that process of keeping the issue, putting the issue, all right, of our enslavement and our own land and teaching us the truth about the nationality. Now we're giving it to the public air. But the Europeans did that. Europeans, this was a major issue throughout Europe. You had, in 1637, we attacked Ireland in 1637. So we attacked the coast of Europe, the 1600s. I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to be, all right. This is from the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire. This is piracy, slavery, and redemption. Barbary captivity narratives from early Europe by Daniel J. Vickus and Nabel I. Matar. This is pages 14 and 15. It is impossible to calculate the exact number of Britons who were captured by the Barbary pirates during the period under study. While there are records of thousands of captives who were ransomed, innumerable others simply disappeared after being sold into slavery in the North African and Eastern Indian hinterlands. In 1577, after 14 years in Alexandria, John Fox escaped, but only 3 of the Englishmen who had been captured with him in 1563 participated in the escape. Whether the rest had died or joined Turco-Egyptian society by converting to Islam is not clear. In 1632, 38 captives presented a petition. 38 captives presenting a petition to King Charles I, and some stated that they had been held 20, some 12, while others had been forced to convert. A list compiled on September 6, 1669, named 400 English captives. All right, where you get this from? Where you get this from, right? All right. All right. A list compiled on September 6, 1669, names 400 English captives held in Algiers, 348 who had been brought new, and 52 old slaves. The list mentions the dates on which captives were seized, their names, and their ships on which they had been sailing. It further shows how on many occasions brothers and cousins were seized together on the same ships, how non-Britons was also seized, and how some died after their capture. A year later, a list of European English captives seized by the pirates of Algiers, made public for the benefit of those that had relations with there, was published in London and included the same names ordered as they appeared in the manuscript. Sometimes whole families were taken together, the father then being allowed to return to England in order to raise the ransom for his captive family. In other cases, all the male adults of a small community would be seized. For example, a petition to the king on June 1670 mentioned the names of captives taken by the Stipni, amongst whom were the petitioner's husbands, sons, and relations. Throughout, relatives as well as ship owners tried to keep the captives in the forefront of both public and government attention. That's what we're doing, right? All right? In March 1676, a writer dedicated his journal to the Duke of York and included a list of persons, slaves in Tripoli, which must be redeemed according to ye articles 5th of March 1676 and 1675 and 1676. What I'm showing that information is documented. This information is available. It's that this is not research that we do. The reason I'm doing this research is to challenge the transatlantic slave trade story, to show that we were a position of power, and we had Europeans in captivity. Not 10 of them, not 20, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, for hundreds. All right? Yes.
Jamestown, where did they come from? The 19 slaves that they put.
You had from England, but what I'm saying is, what I said to you, with immigrant in bondage, immigrant in chains, all right, that a lot of them didn't come over on their own free will. So, 16. all right, I got you. All right. Now, during that time period, so it's 1619, all right, during 1619 and beyond, we were seizing the English colony ships. So the question would be, how many were transported? Not 10,000. My question, could they have done 3 million? Could they have transported 3 million? Europeans, could they have transported 3 million of us from the continent of Africa to the Americas? 3 million. They weren't just, what I'm saying is they didn't control the seas. See, in order to do that, you have to be controlling. See what I'm doing? See why they're coming up? They don't have one vote. We never even raised that question. Because to do that, they had to be in control of the seas. They were not. That's the point that I'm raising. All right? Let's continue. All right. See what else this is from King William III. Conscious was Precht. This is William of Orange, English Dutch. Was born monarch in 1689. A Dutchman, John Smith Heppendorp, visited a cell containing 400 English and North African captives in 1689. King William III, conscious, was pricked by the news, and he had begun a series of discussions about their liberation. For 5 long years, he attempted to haggle and negotiate, but the Sultan, who was Sultan at that time? 1672 to 1727, Moulay Ismail, bloodthirsty, cut Europeans' heads off, ruthless. He would Moulay, M-U-L-E-Y, Ismail. They from 1672 to 1727. Bloodthirsty. That's the Europeans call him that. I mean, we could call him that too because he was that. I mean, I don't want to be biased. Yeah, I would call him bloodthirsty. I'm a Moor. I'm a Moor bloodthirsty. I don't want to be biased. I want to end this slavery crap. I don't want to be biased. You know, you know what? With my nature, I'll be fighting. Because slavery, I'm not saying, well, we should be saving Europeans. What do you mean enslaving Europeans? I'm not. Greedy behind, you know what? The Europeans holding them for ransom. Seizing the ship, holding them for ransom. I don't even support that. Now the question is, do we no complete control, absolute control of our land and resources? They got more. Why? Jobs and control the lands and houses and careers and, I mean, more. You're talking about decades. And, I mean, so they've been, you know, they're cool. They've been cool. The debt's been paid. The corporate debt's been paid. Because they got more than reparations. Because that's not reparations. What the Europeans have got reparations. They got all of our land and resources. That's not reparations. So they've been all right? So let's end this. Let's end this crap. Let's end it. I don't want the cycle to continue. You know, now we come back to the power for we're enslaving them. I'll be fighting on the side of the Europeans against y'all. I'll fight Europeans for anyone anymore who want to enslave Europeans. I'll be fighting on this side. Because I'm not down with that for anybody. Neither was New Ali. So if I about Ali, I got to fight on the side of Europeans against any more who want to enslave Europeans. I got to fight Europeans who want for any more against any more who want to continue to enslave Europeans. Because Ali said what? God said hate, and he did that in the context of the true history. Put their statement in historical context. That's why he said that. We must release the karmic debt. We cannot play the victim role. We've done nothing. We treated good shoe. The Europeans, we was doing our thing. The Europeans flipped us along. That's a lie. But of course, they promoted that for their own benefit. Yeah, I know that. All right? What are we looking at with time? All right, it's 9:34. All right. Any questions? We raise now questions. I'm going to take questions now. I did, questions, criticism. I don't know what I'm talking about. Comment, whatever. I'm crazy, whatever.
We have one more.
Of course. I have one more. Yes. Well, you have also not only books. You also have I mentioned the state papers. You have state papers, like state papers. England. English is called English state papers. Foreign affairs. You have Admiralty records, naval records, Admiralty records, naval records, war records. That's what I'm talking about. State papers. These aren't books. These are state papers. Okay. All right, that's what I'm saying. So it's called state papers. You can look up on the internet. State papers. All right. Foreign affairs. You would have to be a member of to access. I got a list of letters, but I was not able to access the letters. They just gave me the list. I have a list in the book. All right. I just list the list of about 40 letters. To access those letters, you have to be a member of the National Archives. So I'm going to become a member of the National Archives. I came across this a couple months ago, so I don't want to hold the book up. You know what I mean? Going there and look. I just listed the letters. I'm trying to just get this book out. So I'm not going to do any more research because I'm just going to get this book out. All right. I don't know. We can look into that. I haven't even looked into that because I came across it. I was able to at least get the list of letters. I was satisfied. I was satisfied with just the list. All right? And in part 3, you have the letters. But by time, I'm just trying to get this thing out now. All right? So I'm not trying to do any extra, you know what I mean, hold the book up. I'm not doing that.
How much is your book?
I'm still determining the price. I haven't yet.
Still out yet?
No, it's not out yet. Because what I did was I broke the book up into 2 parts. Right, so we're looking at 4 months for part 1. Yeah, this is here. This is the book right here. This is one book. This book. I'm still working on. I'm done. I'm almost done chapter 3. We already started the layout 2 months ago. I'll be done chapter 3 about a week or 2, and then I'll be edited for a month. So we're almost done. This is some of the book right here. This is my manuscript right here. Yes. I can barely hear you, brother. I got this in my ear. All right. Brother, you know what? Brother, that's another class. Let me just stay focused on this. All right? That's another class. Let's stay focused on that. Because then that's a class. A class. out of discharge chapter, that's another class I want to stay for. The topic that Rastafari presented tonight on her website, RVBey Publication, the Blog Talk Show, I'm live now, live on the Blog Talk right now, is excerpt from my book, Moors and Masonry, the Moorish enslavement and ransoming of Europeans during the 15, 16, 1700s, re-examining the transatlantic slave trade. That's what I'm going to stay on. That's what she presented. All right? I'm live right now on Blog Talk. Other questions? Yes.
Now, what about all the scholars who have just told us so much about the slave trade? I mean, you know, all of them,
All right, let me, I can.
I've always heard of the slave trade and slave, now. That sounds better. Don't get wow.
No, let me. Well, I can only speculate. All right, let me just speculate a little bit. They may have not come across the information. All right, and let me tell you why I'm speculating on that. If you just geared to an area of research, you would only go to the Blockson Library at Temple University, and it just has that information. I have no what I'm presenting. These books that I'm listed are not in his library. The Charles Blockson Library, all right, on Temple University campus. He donated his books, all right, to Temple University. He has a library called the Charles. I was there, all right. You will not see any of those books that I'm mentioning in this library. So that's all you go to, the Charles Blockson Library, all right. You ain't going to see this. Well, I didn't go to the Charles Blockson Library. I went to the Consolidated Tree series, all right. I went to English State Papers, Amity Records, Naval Records, all right. These books, all right. Immigrants in Chains, Immigrants in Bondage. They're not looking at those. I'm speculating. I'm speculating. That's all. All right. Mm-hmm. Question. Any question?
Well, would that be you going to choose the real history and not COVID?
Would that be
real history, not told history, right? Somebody tell it. Because most of the history we get is what we are told.
Yes,
it's on real history.
No, we've been given reconstructed history. Right. And then we're giving the one-sided, the Europeans enslaving us. And when you look at the massive enslavement and ransoming of Moorish enslaving of Europeans, Moors and Europeans, you see that history falls apart. What I'm doing is invoking questions. I want to challenge the reader, challenge our people to the question, to re-examine the transatlantic slave trade. That's all. To re-examine it. We just accepted it without examination. That's all. Question over here, right? Go ahead. Let me answer that. We are ready today, right now, to rise to power, brother. We are ready today, brother. Right now, brother. There are those among us right now, this second, that know how to run government, brother. The issue is that we don't know who we are, but they understand how to run government. All right? Europeans are not qualified, brother. What I'm explaining, when I say to you that Europeans are not qualified, I'm not saying that they don't have the knowledge to run government. They do. I'm saying that they are despotic as we once were. They are unjust as we once were. Thank you. All right? They are corrupt as we once were. Europeans know how. We know how to run government too, bro. Brother, I was in a fraternity, bro, Alpha Phi Alpha. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. I went to regional conventions, state meetings, national conventions. Those brothers, they knew bylaws, the bylaws inside out. Boom. They understood structure of government, brother. I learned structure. I didn't know. I know it's black, Wayne Rockinson, black man. I thought that. But what I did learn was how to run organization. Bylaws, constitutional bylaws, officers. I learned that. I learned structure. And I was able to transfer that. It was easy for me to learn. Because, if you understand Constitution bylaws of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you understand that those are fundamental principles. We have that. There's those among us who have that. Well, we can run, we ready to run right now, bro. There are people don't know who they are, that's all. We'll be ready to run now, bro. Your opinions are, they're corrupt. They're corrupt, bro. We don't want them to run nothing. They're corrupt. They've shown a long destruction.
This is the paper yesterday, right?
I'm saying that we kicked that. We. All right? On that, my family. All right? Thank you again for my crazy self, but that's all right. It's passionate. I will not apologize for being passionate. I will not apologize ever. It's the love that I have for you, and I'm willing to die for the freedom of our people, brothers and sisters. I'm willing to die for people, all right? I'm willing to die for the freedom of our people, all right? I've been told by coworkers, hundreds of coworkers, so told me, are you afraid? What's going to happen? Abdullah, I've been told that. I'm going to put this book out. I will put this book out. I will put this book out, all right? I'm ready. My brothers and sisters, I love my people, all right? And my love is the freedom of our people. All right? I want to thank you again. Oh, yes. Who wants to do that? Okay. You're going to close out. We're closing out right now for those who are listening. All right, Brett, you ready? Oh, you want to put it up there? All right, I got you. All right, there you go. All right, you ready? All right. It's loud. Let's go. All right. It's loud. Back on the left, on the floor. United,